Pele's early life wasn't exactly glamorous, was it?
Definitely not born into poverty, but man, even as a kid, you couldn't miss his talent.
Yeah. Hard to ignore that kind of talent.
Yeah.
Think about this. Discovered at 15.
15. That's young for any sport.
Let alone professional football.
I know, right? And then what does he do? Gets signed with Santos FC within a year. Called up to the Brazilian national team at 16.
16.
Talk about a meteoric rise.
It's wild. And then it gets even crazier. Hold on to your hats, because within 2 years of going pro, the Brazilian government declares him a national treasure.
What?
Yeah, a national treasure.
Yeah.
To keep him from being transferred to European clubs. They knew they had something special.
You think? They definitely did. And to really grasp how special, you gotta look at the records. Like scoring 58 goals in a single Campeonato Paulista season.
Whoa, hold on, Campeonato Paulista.
Basically the top professional league in Sao Paulo.
Okay, got it.
And get this, that record still stands today. We're talking almost 2 goals every single game.
It's insane. It's mind-boggling. But you know what? That was just the warm-up act for his World Cup journey. 3
World Cup wins, 58, 62, and 70. No one's ever done that.
And it all started when he was just 17.
Youngest player ever to win a World Cup.
That 1958 win must have been something else. Well, hey, I gotta ask about this Gol de Placa. Why did they put up a plaque for this goal? What makes it so legendary?
Okay, picture this. It's the 1962 World Cup semifinal, right? Pele gets the ball near his own penalty area.
Okay.
And then what? He dribbles past not 1, not 2, but almost the entire opposing team before just calmly putting the ball in the net.
No way.
It was like a masterpiece of skill, agility, tactical genius. They had to put up a plaque at the Maracana Stadium to remember it.
I can see why. Amazing. But wait, there's that crazy story about Adidas and Plana during the 1970 World Cup. They made a pact not to sponsor him.
The Pele Pact. No kidding. They were both scared of how much it would cost.
Seriously?
The biggest shoe companies in the world, too intimidated to sign Pele.
That says something, right?
For sure, he was already a global superstar, but then Puma went and broke the pact.
Oh, right.
They paid him a fortune and asked him to do something so simple. Just tie his Puma King boots on camera before a match.
That's it.
That's it. That single act broadcast to millions around the world, marketing gold.
Talk about a power move.
Yeah.
So we've got this athlete dominating the World Cup, but Pele was so much more than just a footballer, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Off the field, he was all about championing causes, environmental protection, social justice, you name it.
A UN ambassador for ecology and the environment. A long way from scoring goals.
It is. But he knew he had a platform, wanted to make a difference, and he cared about these issues genuinely. The University of Edinburgh even gave him an honorary degree for his work.
For his humanitarian and environmental work. Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive, right?
Definitely. It's inspiring to see someone use their fame like that. Speaking of interesting encounters, did you know he met the Egyptian movie star Zubaida Farwat in Kuwait?
Yeah, in Kuwait of all places.
That's right. Took some photos together.
And rumor has it, Pele was pretty smitten.
Well, she was a movie star.
True. Just a little peek into the kind of life he led, meeting all sorts of people from around the world.
All right, let's dive into the awards and recognition. We could be here all day talking about every single one.
Oh, we could?
So how about we just hit some highlights, the ones that really capture just how much he achieved.
Okay, sounds good. Well, first off, you gotta mention the Guinness World Record for most career goals, 1,283 goals.
Whoa.
Remember, this was in an era when football was a lot rougher, less protection for players.
Yeah, good point. And he's also got the most FIFA World Cup winners medals, 3 titles.
And don't forget, youngest ever to score in a World Cup final at 17.
Oh, right.
Only player to score a hat-trick in the Intercontinental Cup, too.
Which was like the Champions League back then.
Exactly. The best teams from Europe and South America going head-to-head. Pele was a true trailblazer, setting records that are still unbroken.
And on top of all that, he was knighted, a Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire.
Incredible, right? Showing how his impact went far beyond just football. And speaking of global impact, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most important people of the 20th century.
So we've got his rise to stardom, his World Cup dominance, and all his work off the field. No wonder people consider him the greatest footballer of all time.
Even today, major figures like Arsene Wenger and Jurgen Klinsmann agree. They put Pele at the very top for his skill, his talent, his sportsmanship.
What a story. It's amazing. I think it's time for a little reflection, though. What's hitting you the hardest about his journey so far?
What about you? What's resonating? Is it his athletic dominance, the social advocacy, his humility, something else entirely? Take a moment. Think about what you've learned and what really sticks out.
We'll be back in a moment to continue our deep dive into Pele's extraordinary life. Stay tuned.
See you soon.
Back again with our Pele deep dive. We've covered so much already, but now I want to get into what made him such a revolutionary player. Why was he the king? What was it about his style?
You know, it's funny. It wasn't just about how many goals he scored.
Okay.
Pele was the whole package. Athleticism, skill, tactical awareness. He changed the game forever.
So break it down for me. What set him apart?
Imagine this, a player who could score with both feet, power accuracy from almost anywhere on the field.
Okay.
And get this, he scored over 100 goals with his head.
With his head.
Seriously.
No joke. I mean, I always picture him weaving through defenders, super agile.
Oh yeah, it was.
But it wasn't just speed. It was like this balletic agility, changing direction, instantly leaving defenders in the dust. It was like he was playing with them.
He was toying with them.
Exactly. And it wasn't all about scoring himself either.
Right. He could create opportunities for his teammates too.
Oh yeah. Pele had this incredible vision, seeing passes nobody else could, threading the needle, setting up his teammates for goals. A true playmaker, he orchestrated the whole attack. And he did all this when football was way more brutal.
Oh yeah. Back then, no yellow cards, no red cards. The tackles were rough. Referees let a lot slide. Pele took some serious hits.
But it never seemed to bother him.
Right. He just kept playing, letting his talent do the talking. His resilience was incredible, rarely retaliated against aggressive opponents. It was like he was saying, try and stop me, my skill speaks for itself.
So, big picture, what would you say was his biggest contribution to the sport?
For me, it's how he turned football into art. He brought this amazing creativity and flair to the game. It wasn't just about winning. It was about playing beautifully with joy, with passion.
And he inspired generations of players to do the same.
He gave people all over the world, especially those from humble backgrounds, a reason to dream. He showed them anything was possible if you had the talent and the dedication.
And it's wild how he even helped popularize the sport in the US when he joined the New York Cosmos later in his career.
A Brazilian superstar in a country where baseball and American football were king.
It was huge. Massive crowds brought a whole new level of excitement to soccer in the US.
He was a pioneer, paving the way for Major League Soccer, for American players competing on the world stage.
Okay, so we've talked about his impact on the sport, but like we said earlier, Pele's legacy goes way beyond goals and trophies. He was a voice for social justice.
Absolutely. Used his platform to speak out against racism inequality, a symbol of hope for so many people, especially those facing discrimination.
Like when he refused to play in South Africa during apartheid.
That was a powerful statement. He criticized the regime, openly refused to go there until apartheid was over, helped draw international attention to the injustice.
And he was dedicated to helping underprivileged kids in Brazil and around the world.
He got it. Understood that education and opportunity were key to breaking the cycle of poverty. Used his resources to support initiatives to give kids a chance at a better life.
It's amazing how much he accomplished on and off the field.
Yeah.
A true force for good.
His story shows you the power one person can have to make a difference.
So as we keep going with our deep dive, let's explore more about how Pele used his global platform to create change. We'll look closer at his work with the UN, his philanthropy, the impact he had on communities.
We'll also examine how his legacy continues to inspire athletes, activists, and everyday people who are striving to make the world a better, more just place.
We'll be right back to continue this incredible journey. We're back and still diving deep into the life of Pele. We've talked about his incredible career, his impact on the sport, and all his social activism. But I think it's important to remember, behind all the awards and accolades, there was a real person there.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the legend and forget that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Pele, like all of us, he had a personal life,
With its own joys and complexities, for sure.
Exactly. He was married 3 times, had 7 children.
Oh, wow, 7.
Including some from relationships outside of marriage.
I see.
It's a life lived fully right, ups and downs.
Definitely. And those personal experiences, they shape you.
Oh, absolutely. Just as much as his professional triumphs, I'd say.
For sure.
There were some tough times too, though, like his son, Edinho, and his legal troubles.
Oh, right, involving drug trafficking.
Yeah. That must have been incredibly painful for Pele as a father.
It's a reminder that even icons, they deal with real problems.
Human problems.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then there's the story of his daughter, Sandra Machado. He didn't initially acknowledge her.
Oh, wow.
She fought a long legal battle to be recognized as his daughter. and dealing with illness. Sadly, she passed away from cancer in 2006. It's a reminder that family relationships, they could be complicated, even with fame and fortune.
Absolutely. And when those struggles are playing out in public, it adds another layer to it all.
Definitely. So what does all this tell us about Pele the man, you think?
I think it shows us that he was ultimately human, had to navigate family, relationships, challenges, just like us. Makes his story even more relatable.
More nuanced.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's interesting to think about all his different experiences. Did you know he was even in a film with Michael Caine?
Oh yeah, Escape to Victory, right?
That's the one. The World War II movie, Allied prisoners of war playing a football match against a German team.
It's wild. Imagine being on set with both Pele and Michael Caine.
What a combination. It shows a different side of him, right? Willing to try new things.
Step outside his comfort zone.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what do you think will be the most enduring part of Pele's legacy?
Tough question, but I think it's his ability to inspire. He showed the world what it means to strive for excellence, to break down barriers, to use your platform for good.
He did. He really did.
He proved that with talent, dedication, and belief, you can achieve anything.
No matter where you come from or what you face.
His story is a testament to the power of the human spirit. It's a reminder that dreams can be achieved.
Even in the face of adversity. And, you know, his legacy, it's not just a memory, it's still shaping the world.
Absolutely. He inspired generations of footballers, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And his impact on the sport is huge. But it goes beyond that.
Definitely. His fight for social justice, his work to combat poverty, making the world a better place, it's all part of his legacy. And it still resonates today.
It does. In a world that can feel divided, cynical, Pele's story offers hope.
It does. It reminds us of the power of unity, of working towards a better future, the potential we all have to make a difference.
I like that.
So that's our deep dive into the life of Pele, a glimpse into the man who became a legend, an icon, and a symbol of hope.
For millions around the world. But this is just the start of your exploration, right?
It is. We encourage you to delve deeper into his journey, learn about his triumphs, his challenges, his legacy, because there's always more to discover, more to learn, and more to be inspired by. Thanks for joining us.